Some pistols are expensive because they earn it. These are expensive because people keep making excuses for them. That's the trap with high-dollar handguns. The price starts lying before the gun ever has to work. A cheap pistol screws up and everybody laughs. A $2,000 pistol screws up and suddenly guys start preaching break-in periods, premium feel, hand fitting, heritage, duty pedigree, all that polished crap that sounds smart when your receipt is bleeding. I know because I've done it. I've defended pistols I didn't even enjoy shooting because admitting the truth meant admitting I bought the fantasy. That's what this list is. 5 expensive pistols that are not worthless, but not worth the money once the hype leaves the counter. Carry pain counts. Awkward controls count. Reliability doubt counts. Cheaper guns doing the same job better counts. And the one at the end is famous, loud, ridiculous, and maybe the clearest warning here. My FN509. Tactical sat under the glass outside San Antonio, looking like it had diplomatic immunity. Threaded barrel, optic-ready slide, tall sights, FN name on the side. Just under $900. And the counter guy talked it up like that price already proved something. Duty grade, suppressor ready, tactical package. All the words that make a buyer start nodding before the gun earns a damn thing. I wanted to believe it too. That's the part that bugs me. That afternoon, I put one on the rental counter and ran it outside in the heat. The FN worked. No dramatic jam, no ugly failure, no easy excuse to throw it under the truck. It tracked honestly, felt serious in the hand, and I understood why people trust it. But 20 rounds in, that hinge trigger started dragging across my patience. Long, gritty, heavier than it needs to be, and not in some tough combat way. It felt cheaper than the pistol. Then the slide bit my hand. Extra mag sat close to $50 each. Holster and parts support felt thin compared to the boring giants. And the math got stupid fast when a Glock 19 MOS, Glock 17 MOS, or M&P 2.0 sits in that $550 to $650 lane and does the real job cleaner. The FN509 tactical is not trash. It runs fine. That's what makes it worse. It turns fine into premium money because tactical is stamped on the box. The SIG Sauer P320 AXG Legion gets under your skin before the first round. The metal grip hits your hand and your brain starts acting stupid. Weight feels planted. Legion finish looks expensive. Balance feels like SIG took the regular P320 and finally gave it a grown-up job. I picked it up and hated how much I understood the appeal. Then I shot it. Soft recoil, steady return, good control. It runs calm enough to make you start defending the price before anybody asks. That is exactly how it gets you. But once the first smile wears off, the math walks in. You are paying premium money for a P320 that still brings P320 baggage with it. Not a lawsuit rant, not internet panic, just that little hesitation in the back of your head that should not be there when a pistol costs this much. At this price, I should feel spoiled. Instead, I'm calculating risk. Regular P320 variants do most of the job cheaper, and the M&P metal starts looking smart. The CZ Shadow 2 compact makes the metal frame argument awkward. The AXG Legion shoots well enough to defend, but not well enough to shut the receipt up. I walked away, liking it more than I wanted. What came after cost more, and looked even harder to criticize. $3 grand changed the sound of that pistol, not the recoil, not the trigger. The sound in my head after my buddy said, the Wilson Combat SFX9 was north of $2,900 out the door, maybe brushing 31 with options. We had already shot it by then. Targets were already stapled up with those rude little groups sitting there, like evidence. That is what pissed me off. The gun was beautiful. Tight fit, clean trigger, no stumble, no cheap excuse, no little failure I could use to laugh it off. The SFX9 did its job so well, it almost made the price feel normal for about 10 seconds. Then I looked at my buddy's face. He didn't look like a guy holding a carry pistol. He looked like a guy waiting for the purchase to be blessed. That is where expensive guns get nasty. They stop being tools and turn into proof you made the serious choice. The Wilson Combat SFX9 is not bad. It is excellent. But excellent is not the same as worth the money for most shooters. A lot of guys are paying a craftsmanship tax, then calling every tiny bit of polish performance. The gun didn't embarrass itself. The price made everybody in the conversation act weird. And the one after this took that same problem and strapped it to a holster. Clack! The Staccato C2 bumped my truck console, and I froze. Like I just cracked a damn watch. That right there is why I tell most buyers to avoid this thing before they waste $2,000 plus trying to make it their normal carry gun. Not because it shoots bad. It doesn't. Everybody knows the C2 shoots like a reward. The problem starts when an expensive carry pistol touches normal life and suddenly you're acting like the gun needs a babysitter. I put it on for a regular day. Gas station, lunch stop, hardware store, Texas heat soaking through my shirt. Nothing dramatic happened, no timer, no steal, no hero moment. Just me checking my shirt too much, adjusting the holster too carefully, watching the grip print, and catching myself protecting the pistol instead of simply carrying it. That is where the money starts looking dumb. A carry pistol should disappear into your routine. The C2 kept dragging the price back into it. Mags cost too much. Holsters feel like a commitment. Sweat feels expensive. Every little scrape feels personal when the pistol costs more than some people's whole carry setup. The C2 is not hard to like. It is hard to own casually. I still understand why people love it. That is what makes it dangerous. And the next one does not even pretend to hide under a shirt. The Desert Eagle walked into that indoor range like it had its own theme music. The owner had not even loaded it yet, and the room already changed. Conversations dropped. The guy in the next lane leaned back. Even the range officer gave that little half smile like, great, somebody brought a countertop microwave with a trigger. And yeah, for the first few shots, I got it. The blast slapped the walls. The muzzle flash lit the lane. Every normal pistol on the bench suddenly looked like office equipment. Nobody buys a Desert Eagle to be subtle. They buy it because some part of them wants the famous hand cannon from every movie poster and video game fantasy they never outgrew. Then, reality started charging by the magazine. Ammo costs got ugly. The weight got stupid. The concussion stopped being funny. Everybody wanted one or two shots, laughed, handed it back, and returned to their normal pistols like they had just stepped off a carnival ride. That is why most buyers should avoid it before wasting money. The Desert Eagle is not a serious carry gun, not a practical training gun. For most people, it is a loud metal souvenir that eats cash, beats wrists, and spends more time getting shown off than used. It gives you a moment, then it gives you a safe queen with a muzzle blast problem. Not useless. Worse. Fun enough to make bad money logic feel cool. Before you spend $1,500 on a CZ Shadow 2 compact, answer one ugly question. Where the hell does it live? Not in theory. In your actual life. Because on that Fort Worth range day, this pistol made a strong cast fast. Different shooter handed it over. No speech, no flex. Classic CZ grip locked in, single action break felt excellent, and the groups tightened up quick enough to make my argument look weak. That is the trap. The Shadow 2 Compact shoots so well, you start treating accuracy like a full-time job description. But street price sits around $1,200 to $1,500. And now the pistol has to explain itself. Is it a carry gun? Kind of. But it still has weight, still brings that long, heavy double-action first pull, and still does not disappear like a simple daily pistol. Is it a range gun? Sure. But then a full-size Shadow 2 starts making cleaner sense. That leaves this weird middle lane where the CZ feels brilliant, but the buyer has to invent the role after falling in love with the target. So, yeah, avoid wasting money on the Shadow 2 Compact if all you have is range day wow and no clear purpose. The gun is excellent. That is what makes it slippery. Sometimes the best shooting pistol on the table is still the one that leaves you wondering what you actually bought. If one of these made your current pistol special, good. That was the point. Better is not brand, price tag, or whatever logo keeps your comment section buddies comfortable. Better is what happens in your hand, on your belt, under pressure, and on the receipt. Some expensive guns lose in boring ways. Some cheap guns make pride look stupid. Some favorites only survive because nobody runs them hard enough to expose the annoying little problems everybody pretends not to notice. So drop it below. Which pistol do you own right now that still beats every gun on this list? Made you defensive. Name? I'm Steve.